Yo, what's up, you guys? So it is time to finally start working on the car, and I got one side jacked up right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop this wheel off, and I'm gonna take off the brake pads because they're getting old now. They're starting to squeak. So I got brand new brake pads. I'm gonna use these ones right here, so that way I heard these are really well, where you don't have dust as much as the original Brembos do. And I have brand new rotors as well that are OEM that I'm gonna go ahead and put on here. So let's get this wheel off. All right, so the wheel is off. Look how dirty this is. Yeah, once I get this taken out, we're gonna take this off. Obviously, we're gonna swap that out. This is a T30 right here, Torx bit. And then all you gotta do is pop out these little pins right here. This top one, this bottom one. I believe this nut right here is the 13 millimeter. And then the two that are actually holding this is 18 millimeters. So we're gonna get this off. We're gonna get the pads out first. And then once we get the pads out, you're gonna knock these out. You could use like a little screwdriver or, but make sure it's small, very small. That way you can, knock this out. You don't need much. And then from there, once we remove that, I'm gonna get the pads out. Make sure you pull these pads back. But in order to do that, so you don't have to fight this, something people don't tell you is the brake fluid up top in the engine bay. Go to the brake fluid and release the cap. So that way it releases the pressure. So when you pull these back, it's easier to pull back. So just keep an eye on it, because if you filled any fluid in there, then that's where it'll spill. So that's why you don't fill fluid, because what happens is when you notice your fluid is low, is because these pads are getting older. And then as you stretch them back out, your fluid goes back up, because fluid doesn't just burn through and it doesn't just go away in that bottle. The only time it does that is if you got a leak somewhere, and that's when you got to bleed it. All right, you guys, so I got the pads out of place. So all I got to do is just remove the two 18 millimeter bolts in the back. Here's the original OEM ones that were on there. Still a little bit of life left, but when I was braking, it was squeaking. So it was time to change these. Let's get it. All right, so the caliper is off. The caliper is hanging right there. Ran it through the inside. There's the old rotor, and there's the new one. So I'm gonna spray some brake cleaner on that once I put it on, so that way there is no like grease on there or anything like that. All right, so this side is done. Now the other one, we're gonna do the passenger side. I got it lifted up. So I'm gonna finish the front two today, and then this Friday, I'm gonna do the back two. I'm not gonna have enough time. It's gonna get dark by the time I get to that, but at least the front two will be done, and then I'll do the back ones.